At some point, we all bought into this lie that you've got to feel ready in order to change. We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point we're going to have courage. At some point we're going to have confidence. It's complete garbage because we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from these things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to do all of those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, and sometimes even downright scary. Now, what's changed in my life is waking up and realizing that I'm never going to feel like doing the things that are tough or difficult or scary or new. I'd love to procrastinate, right? So I need to stop waiting until I feel like it. Number two, I am one decision away from a totally different life, a totally different job, a totally different income. Your life comes down to your decisions. If you change your decisions, you'll change everything. The most inspired and motivated person wins. It's the person who can work on the days that they're not inspired and motivated. It's what you do when you're not feeling great. What do you do when it's not your best day? When all you want to do is just sit on the couch? What carries you through is your rituals and habits. So when you're fatigued, when you're tired, when you're under pressure, you react reflexively. You are in reaction mode. And so successful people rely on habits and rituals, not just on inspiration and motivation and, just gut feeling. And so what I do, I work on these days, I work on my habits and rituals these days because it carries me through. And you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept all your excuses are lies, plain out lies. If you're tired, if you're sore, if you're just not feeling well, it's lies. The list goes on. It doesn't stop. If you don't make it stop, get angry, get aggressive. Stand your ground in the battle of life and fight by saying no. Square up, gain mental toughness, exercise, casting out your own mental lies. Cast them out. Great, isn't it, that you don't have to be ready to make a decision. You don't have to be ready, or things don't have to be perfect in order for you to progress forward. It's all about progress. It's all about taking one step. It's always about the next step. It's all about just doing it for the right directive action. And we call it directive action. And remember this, you don't need to see the whole staircase in order to take the first step. It's so important that you don't need to know the full plan. It's all good. You have your objectives, you have your outputs, you have your goals of where it is that you want to go. You don't need to know exactly how you're going to get there. I personally leave it up to the universe. My brain is going to help me sort that out. Your actions are going to help you start to adapt, to be flexible, to figure out the things that are important to you. But here's the clue. If you never get started, if you procrastinate, overanalyze, if you never think that you need a business plan to get going, well, do I have an idea of what I'm doing? Do I have a vision? Do I have an outline of where it is that I want to go? Do I know what it is that I want to accomplish? Sure I do. I know the people that I want to serve. And of course, there, doesn't need to be a business plan, a formal business plan. I love to do one-pagers. You don't need a mission statement, to get you going. I don't think I still have a mission statement, and I used to teach this stuff. But guess how many people that I've helped though, right? You don't need a mission statement to do what I do. You don't need one to do what you do, right? The terms, the things, the ways that we've been conditioned to start a business is not strictly necessary. What's necessary is, who are we going to help? Who are we and how are we going to help them? And what's the process we're going to do to get there, right? And what way is it that we're going to do it? So day 2 was wild, okay? Did you make your video? Did you take action at least? One thing that's happening is once you start getting comfortable in something, with doing something, it's not really that big of a deal the second time round. Like, it's the first time, it's like, second time, like, third time, Third time comes around, it's like, hey, I can kind of do this. Fourth time, you're like, all right, let's go. Fifth time, you're a freaking pro. That's what we're trying to do here, right? That's why I'm asking you to make videos. Even if you don't post them, do it for yourself. Do your homework. It's the transformation. That's what it's all about, okay? Today is one of my favorite days. I'm going to destroy a huge belief that so many of you guys have. And I really believe it's going to be super powerful in helping you move forward. This is probably one of the strongest beliefs that people have. And I'm really excited to share this model with you that I came up with. And it's just going to light your belief on fire. Just eliminate it right out the door. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little recap. And then we're going to jump right into day 3, I promise you. So we started day 1 with our sexy business machine, right? 3 parts. We want to make it consistent. We want to make sure that we're seeing the results that we want. And we don't want to be in business where we're not getting any of these results. We want to make sure that we understand what the different parts of the machine are, so that when we get those results, we're feeding the 3 parts of the machine properly. Now, first part that starts the machine is the inputs. That's me. Yeah, that would be me, because I am the one that starts my business. You are the one that starts your business. And if we can't start the machine, it won't start. It's as simple as that, right? And it's our traits, our habits, our beliefs, our attitudes. It's those things that are the guide to helping us get started. If we have non-supported stuff and we're not doing what we need in order to start the machine, it's not going to start. We'll never get the result that we want. So number 2, that's our middle part. That's our throughputs and our actions. These are the things that we want to do. Yesterday we talked about what actions you should be taking, right? Where do you need to prioritize? We talked about the business model of growth. Now that's the different 3 parts to it there as well. So we had the actions that we knew that we had to take. And then we come into throughputs, and then number 3, output, results. Who doesn't love results, right? But we need to know what these outcomes are, what these outputs are, what the results are that we want, because we're not just going to automatically, magically get them. Somehow we have to plan. We need to determine what outcomes we want. We need to determine the outputs, the results that we want. Because if we don't determine those results, how can we measure it? How do we know that we got it? We'll never get it. So you need to be specific about those specific results so that you can work backwards. And guess what? If you're not getting the results that you want, it's really quite easy, because you reverse engineer the whole process now. And that's okay. And that's when you can start at the beginning and really just work the parts. So if you're not, you have to ask yourself, am I getting the results? Am I the person who's getting those results? If not, well, you're probably not doing the right things. Now, if you are being the right person, you're giving it your all, you're doing whatever it takes, you're doing it all, and you're showing up, you've got the right habits every single day, you're doing it, you're positive, you're supportive even, then you look at your actions. Are you taking the right actions? Are you doing things correctly? Are you doing the right things? Are you prioritizing the right things? Lots of people specialize in doing busy work, but not actually work. Have you made the right decision? Okay, so that's video number 1. Very quickly summarized for you. Video or day number 2. That was epic, right? A super epic day, and I believe that we smashed it. So my goal for you is a sustainable business growth. It's the start, it's the build and the growth of your business at whatever stage that you're at. And each single step has steps within it. Sorry, each stage has steps within it, right? So we talked about what we call the business growth model. And that's our roadmap of what we need to work on and how we need to prioritize things. So there's 3 sections to the roadmap, okay? And we're going to talk about this in a big way, and then we're going to make it small and come into the details. Okay, so section 1 of the roadmap. Do you remember what it was? Well, of course, it's vital. It's the lifeline. It's the blood. It's the engine of your machine. It's get leads. And let me tell you guys something real quick. It doesn't say attract leads. It says get leads. It means you have to sign them. You have to get all the things right, like be action oriented, be verb oriented, and also build your network and build your authority. Get those leads, move them into sales. You can build your course or do the thing and expect that the leads are going to find you. You're the one who has to go out wherever they are, in whatever format, make it clear that those leads are coming to you. Okay, next one, number 2, we have to make sales. We've got to earn sales. You've got to actually make the sales. Most of the time, people are just going to say, hey, take my money. Please just take money. Oh, hang on. Wait, that doesn't happen, right? You have to work on your sales. Most of the time, and a lot of the businesses that we create online, they don't do that. It's like some of the business do actually automatically get sales, like, selling toilet paper during a pandemic. Usually, though, for most of us, this is not the case. So you need to make sales. It takes effort. It takes steps. So you need to come up with ways to make your sales. And then we need to continuously make sales and move them through our customer journey so that we can create a lifetime value. And if you don't have a customer journey, okay, that's fine. We all start somewhere. We have to create our process and then we move on up, right? Okay, last part is we have to expand our business. We don't just want to stay the same. And I want to make sure that, we had our traffic light yesterday, red, yellow, and green. But red doesn't mean negative, right? It could mean that you're just starting your business. It's just a prioritization tool that we know that it needs work, that area. It doesn't mean to say, hang your head in shame now. So don't be worried. It just means that it takes a little bit more work, okay? Yellow means improvement, but it might not be necessary to work on something right now. And when we have green, it's like, hey, it's okay. This is probably not something that we need to focus that much time and attention on right now in our 90-day cycle. Now, there's another important part to this, okay? There's the difference between doing and building something versus maintaining something. So there's always the continual maintaining of your business, all the day-to-day stuff, right? We have to do this as well, even when we decide to take on new projects or have new outputs. We want new results. We need to maintain our day-to-day. So this is how we start to create our priorities over the next 90 days. So, hey, I want to build my network and get leads over the next 90 days, and this is my priority. Doesn't mean to say that there's nothing else that you need to work on. Just means that this is a priority, okay? So I don't want you to get confused, because if you get confused, you're going to give up and you're just going to lose. So I just want to keep it as simple as possible for you. I want to simplify it so that you understand what it is that you need in order to succeed. And if you want my help to help you implement that, then that's great. Shoot me a messenger and let's talk. If you don't and you want to do it all yourself, hey, cool, great. I'm cool either way. Seriously. But my goal is to make this training worth your time. This is what I'm all about. But remember, I said that success is never easy, okay? But it can be simple when you simplify it and when you understand the key pillars, tongue twister, of what drives a business, okay? Now, a lot of you are probably realizing right now that you need more leads. You need to get more people in the door, butts in seats. So today is all about making sure we get the right leads in the door. So I like to say that all you need to do in order to have a successful marketing campaign is you need to put the right message in front of the right audience, and it has to be at the right time. Okay? Right message, right audience, right time. If you have the right message to the right audience, but it's not at the right time, guess what? They're not going to buy. Even though you hit 2 out of 3, you've got to get the third one as well. So that's why when we're talking about, or, we'll be talking about following up. It's vital, vital, vital. It takes at least 8 to 10 touch points nowadays to make a sale. That's why we have to stay in front of the right people by following up. We want to keep putting our message in front of the right people because, hey, sorry, I got caught up in my day and I didn't get a chance to buy. You don't want to hear that ever. You need to give them an opportunity so they don't say, hey, you never contacted me again. You didn't follow up. So, you missed out. Sorry. Oops. You have to have right message, right audience, right time. So you want to make sure that you're understanding that we want to get in front of the right people, right audience, right time. I'm going to keep repeating this because it's vital when you come to crafting your irresistible offer. Now, when it comes to today's lesson, we need to make sure that we're finding the right audience. So we're understanding who it is that we're looking for. So that when we create our message where we're attracting the right person, so anyone who's ever said, hey, I'm getting the wrong leads in my business, or I'm not talking to the right people. Anyone ever said that? I hear it all the time. Oh, it's just all these people that are never going to buy. They're just tire kickers. Why am I getting these people? Why do I keep having to talk to the wrong people? And I know it can be really, really frustrating. I've been there myself. I spent quite a long time trying to figure out what it was that was happening. And I came up with 2 reasons. One is that you're not completely clear on who you're talking to. Now, that's a big one. If you're not 100% clear on who you're talking to, how are you supposed to get to the right people, right? It's logical when you think about it. So you have to be very, very clear, 1000%, not that that's possible, clear. Now, number 2 is your messaging. So the way you message them is probably hitting the wrong points, the wrong problems, the wrong person, the wrong demographic if you're talking to the wrong people all the time. Your messaging, your words that you use is what people are reading to make sure that you are a fit for them. And this is where marketing comes in. So if you are, for example, attracting broke people, people with no money, then you need to look at the messaging you are using. So if, for example, you're running a campaign that says, make money at home or get money quick, without working much, who's that marketing talking to? Versus something else that could be like, for example, expand your income, create a new layer of income to go above and beyond what you're already earning. Very, very different, right? It's going to attract someone very different. This second message is going to attract someone who is already earning money. So the way you message, the words you use are vital. And the only way that you get the message right is if you thoroughly identify who it is that you're talking to. So today is all about what we call a niche. It's understanding who we're going to serve. Because remember, we talked about serving, helping. We're entrepreneurs. That's what we do for a living. We solve problems for a profit. So our goal is to figure out who we're helping, how we're helping them, and of course, what strategies we're using to help them so they can understand that they are the right person. So it's really, really critical for us to at least identify properly who it is that we're helping. Now, there's 5 different ways, and I'm not going to go into all of them, but 5 different ways that we can specifically help people to get to their first 10,000 a month. And I say that because if you don't have at least one of these things, all of these things, you're never ever going to build your business systems in the right way. So one of the things that you have to master in order to get to your 10K a month is your niche. You have to know who your niche is. And the reason why you have to know your niche is because it makes everything so much easier for you. So you can go super general, and you can message to everyone. So for example, you can say, I help people get more confident. Okay, that's great. Or you can just go super broad, very, very general and say, hey, I help people become financial free, or I help people with their health, or I help people become more healthy. Right? You can totally do that. But it makes your road to success so much easier. I promise you, it doesn't have to be that hard. We tend to overcomplicate everything that we do in business. Why does it make it harder? Well, because you literally do not have any of the doors opened because there's so much competition. You are now competing with everyone in the health space rather than just a select few. But you're also making it really hard for people to find you and understand that you are the right person for them. So there's a couple of reasons why people buy something from you. So one of the main reasons is you are the person that they see helping them, okay? And you need to be that person. Make them think, hey, this person speaks my language. This person gets me. This person understands what I'm going through. I like this person. I trust that they can get me the results. If that's not what you're articulating in your customer message, then it's going to be really, really hard to get their attention. But also just to get them to be attracted to you in the first place, because there's so much competition out there. Okay, so we want to make really, really clear on the who. Who do we serve? Now, another really big part of this is we have to decide to specialize, because it makes our marketing so much stronger. Everything we do is on a niche basis. So a niche just means we're picking a segment in a market, okay? I'll give you a little overview. Let me explain. So we have the healthcare industry, the health space, right? It's huge. And within that health space, there's different segments in the market. There's exercise, there's nutrition, there's dieting, and there's different types of dieting, and all of these sorts of things. So for example, there's the keto diet, or there's Herbalife, right? There's a niche within the diet industry, which is, these are all niches within the diet industry, which is in the whole big health industry. So if you understand that you're in the health and wellness industry, well, what I'm talking about is creating a further niche. And we tend to say you niche down, and that becomes your speciality. And the more narrow you are, the better it is. So that way we get a niche within a niche, within a niche, within a niche. So that's what we like to talk about when we niche down. So another example, the online marketing business or industry is really huge as well, right? But what is online marketing? Well, for example, within online marketing, there's social media marketing, which is also huge. So what's in social media? Well, we all know it. There's Facebook. And within Facebook, when we make it a little bit smaller, there's Facebook ads. So now, for example, your niche could be Facebook ads for transformational coaches. So now you're a niche within a niche, within a niche, within a niche. Perfect. There's a lot of money to be made here. So now you can kind of see what I'm doing, I hope. Facebook ads for transformational coaches. That's who my market is, right? For example. And you're going to find a lot of people here who need your help, and you're probably going to make, like I said, the good money. So what we want to do is we really, really, really need to start thinking about picking a niche within a niche, at least 2 niches deep. So be as specific as you can. And the reason why you've got to do this, the reason why you have to do anything here, is because it's going to make everything so much easier. And I'm going to try to explain in the best ways possible so that you can understand it. Now, again, people buy based off them seeing themselves getting results of you. People buy people. So if you specialize with one specific person, and I'm just going to use an example, I specialize in helping business coaches, for example, build a 6-figure business, okay? So there's my niche. I specialize in building businesses for business coaches, so building a 6-figure empire. So here's why this is powerful. When I work with these people, I can see that a business coach who has not yet earned six figures in business does still want to earn those six figures in business. And they're all bound to have the specific similar problems, right? They have the same frustrations. They have the same similar fears. They all have similar pains that they're going through, and they have similar problems together. So when I speak to a business coach, I'm speaking to their fears, their frustrations, their pains, their problems. I'm speaking to all of those, and they're all the same. We are all unique, but we're all the same. So now they also, because they're all business coaches who want to earn six figures, they all have similar wants. So they want specific things. And they have similar aspirations as well. Where do they want to go in the future? Well, this is going to be similar as well. They want to make more money. They want to have more impact, because coaching is an impact kind of thing, right? They want to have more fulfillment. They want to have more freedom. They want, coaching for a lot of people can sometimes take away your freedom, because a lot of people get stuck in the one-on-one and they never leverage themselves. So if you can talk to all those aspirations of money, impacting freedom, well, you're probably going to be talking to a lot of business coaches now, right? And you can specify even further. So let's go deeper. Now we're talking to a problem. We're talking to where they want to go. We're also talking to where they want to go to, right? We've talked about problems. We've talked about results. Now, this is where this gap comes in that we talked about yesterday, remember? And you have the process for doing this already. But now, because we're working with coaches who haven't earned six figures yet, who want to get to these figures, and you know how to do that. You know the process that you're going to use to get them from here to the same point every single time. So every single one of them is going to get the same result. And that's an important part, because it's the same for everyone. It makes your delivery of how we can actually do this, this process is now able to scale. So it's much easier because everyone's starting at the same place and everyone's finishing at the same place, which means that people are going to go through the same stuff. And that means that people are all going to get the same results. And that means that when they do get these results, the business coach starts to give you case studies. They give you testimonials. Hey, I was a business coach. I wasn't doing very well. And now look at me. I've achieved all of this. And guess what? You can use that. So now you can use these testimonials and say, hey, other business coaches, would you like to be like Joan? Or would you like to be like Sarah? Or would you like to be like John? All these people have had these great results, and you can too, because they're all business coaches just like you. So now people know who you are, and then you can see your message and you can see you can see your results, because you're using the same process in order for people to get to those results. And now they're like, hey, wow, I'm having those problems as well. I'm having those pains. I'm having those frustrations. And if all of those people who are business coaches just like me can get the same results that, working from Jennifer has given them, then, hey, this must be the person to help me get those results as well. You see, it's all a cycle. And now if I'm helping, for example, 10 people, and I have all these different groups of people that I'm going to start working with, that's fine. You group them by potential. Well, now you have to create different processes, though, for different people based on where they're at. And that makes not only your delivery harder, it makes your results inconsistent. And then when you go to market, you'll have less results with the same people, which means that makes it a lot harder to build authority in the market. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Hopefully blow your mind today, okay, if I haven't already. So here we go. This is what I like to call my authority pathways. And as you guys know, we need to build our authority within our market so they know, like, and trust us. Okay, this is a mantra: know, like, and trust. They know us based off us sharing problems that they have and solving it. They like us based off our likability. Are they liking our vibe? Are they liking our energy? Are they liking our teachings? Are they liking how we do it? And certain people have an X factor, right? And we like them for that. And everyone's got their own thing. And that's how they're going to like you. And they trust you based off seeing the results that you can get for them, or seeing the process that you can do, or making sure that you're sharing how you're basically building their trust with what you've done before, right? So that's how we do know, like, and trust. And that's how we build our authority. But there's 4 stages to building our authority. Okay, now you start off in a market as an unknown, okay? You've never been in a market before, so no one knows you. Therefore, you are unknown. So when I got into the business, I was, unknown. I'm still unknown, but that's okay. I'm known very well to my right target markets. So when you come into your market, no one knows you. You don't have a network. You don't have authority. That's okay. Now, what most people tend to think is that when they get into business, they have to be an expert. They have to be the go-to person in that marketplace to do business with. And that stops them because they're like, well, hey, there's all these other experts in my field already doing this. So who am I? There's all these people already, serving and helping, and they're experts. How am I supposed to compete with experts? When I am not known, how am I supposed to get started? This is a big stumbling block for a lot of people. But, my friends, the power of online marketing, the power of having an online business, the power of having a niche is you don't have to be an expert. Good, right? You don't have to be the go-to person yet. You don't probably ever have to be it. What you need to do is you need to build a tribe, and you need to be a tribe leader. Okay, so what's a tribe? A tribe is a close group of people who have similar interests, abilities, and they're working the same thing, they're probably doing the same stuff, and they have a similar journey, and they probably have a similar outcome. And they're generally a tight-knit, close-knit community. So we're a tribe, right? We're all going through this challenge together. We're doing the same stuff. We have similar goals. We all want to grow our online businesses, okay? Now, I don't have thousands of people in this tribe. That's okay. You don't need 100 people. You don't need 1,000 people. You really don't. Okay? You don't even need these people. All you need is the people who are committed to doing, or are committed to what it is that you are doing. People who like you. People who know, like, and trust you, so you can be the leader in the tribe and take them to the result that you want to give them. So the first step is you need to be a tribe leader. Then you become an expert. So why do you do expert after tribe leader? Well, once you've built a tribe, you've built a connection with people. You've built a community, and now people are starting to know more about you. They're starting to recommend you. So the experts are like the leaders in their niches. They're the people where you're like, hey, I'm looking for a really good Facebook advertising training. Who knows one? And then someone tags you into it, right? That is being a leader. Now, the people who tag other people, those are like the experts, right? The people being tagged are the experts. And I'm not saying that you don't need to be an expert in what it is you do. No. You can or you can't. I've done this forever, but you can be unknown in the market and still be an expert. But the advice here is to build your tribe first. So expert just means that you go into the market for authority, right? Okay, final one. Once you are the expert in your niche, well, then you have to continue to build up and go to become a brand, if that's how big you want to be. Now, what's a brand? The brand is a very top. For example, Tony Robbins is a brand, right? You can't even come close to him. So you go from specific to a little less specific to broad. Okay, so we start with being specific because our goal is to build a tribe. Now, why do we want to build a tribe? Why don't we want to go big right away? Well, we talked about it a little bit, but we're also wanting to make sure that we're narrow enough so we're talking to the right people. This is all about our niche. But we also want to talk about that you don't just need a lot of people. And I'm going to do the math with you here, okay? Let's do a little bit of the numbers. You don't need a huge tribe because, let's say, and I'm going to work with some round numbers here. Let's say you charge $1,000 to work with you, right? Maybe it's $1,000 to work with you for 4 months, or maybe it's $1,000 for 3 months, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. But it's not really a big deal. $1,000 for 4 months. Let's say you're earning $300 a month, okay? It's very doable for a lot of people. So you collect 1,000 upfront. Now, if you have 100 people do 1,000, how much money is that? Well, simple, right? $100,000. That was the easy part of the math. I could still do that. So it's going to do this just one more time, okay? So let's do a little bit more math to know what kind of numbers you have. So if you want to make 100,000 and you have a product that's 1,000, and you help 100 people now, how many people do you need to serve on a monthly basis? Well, we simply divide it by 12, right? And the outcome is that we need to help 8 people per month to make 100,000 a year. Simple. If we sell $1,000 product. Now, do you need 100,000 people to do this? No, you don't. You need 100 people. You don't need thousands of people, but you need 100 people over the space of a year. 8 people a month. 8 people per month. That's not hard, is it? You want to help people, 8 people, in order to get to your goals. So this is crazy. We don't need massive numbers to get the numbers that the brands get. You just need to be a tribe leader. And guess what? This is really exciting as well. Being a tribe leader, there's a lot of tribe leaders that I know out there who are making well over $1 million a year. Just because you're a tribe leader does, I can't even say the word anymore, tribe leader, doesn't mean that you're not making money like a brand could. There's a really big distinction. Tribe leaders still make a boatload of money. You can still be a millionaire and be a tribe leader. You just need to have the right product for the right people at the right time. There you go. Coming back to basics again. And here's a really important part about this. Since you're specific and you're helping with a specific problem, let me ask you this. What doctor makes more money? A general practitioner or a brain surgeon? Well, of course, a specialist, right? So if you're solving a specific problem that has a specific result, guess what? You can charge more money. You can charge more because you're specializing and you're helping. And it doesn't mean you need to charge more, but it does give you the opportunity to charge more. So, consider being a specialist rather than a generalist. Okay, so how does that sound, everyone? Is that good? Is that good or is that good? So we want to make sure that we're at what I like to call, being a big fish in a small pond. So can you go bigger? Yes, you will actually naturally grow bigger. Once you continue to move up the authority pathway, you are going to continuously grow. You'll know more, you have more experience. It's a natural progression. So now, how do you define your niche? Because the way you define your niche now is not going to define you permanently. It's a living organism. It changes, okay? Your niche changes over time, just like you change over the time. It evolves. And one of the most important things that we need to understand is that our niche is something that we need to pick, and it can change. Once you become a tribe leader, doesn't mean you're stuck doing something. You can naturally evolve, and you can bring people with you whilst you're evolving. And once you know how to do it, You can do it over and over and over again. All right, so how do I pick our niche? Well, again, you need to look at your overall industry that you're in. Then you need to ask, what are the subcategories in this industry? Then you need to ask, what are the subcategories within that? What are the subcategories within that? Now, that's one way of figuring it out, right? Subcategory, subcategory, subcategory. Another way of figuring it out is based on what I really like to do, which is based off the experience or of the stage of life. So is someone who's 30 years old versus someone who's 60 years old in a different stage of life? Well, of course they are. And would you agree that someone who's 30 years old and someone who's 60 years old might have very different frustrations, very different fears, very different aspirations? When it comes to, say, their money, their health, their IQ, their relationships, they have very different ways of thinking, right? So would it make sense to do the same blanket message to the 30-year-old as it does to the 60-year-old? No, it wouldn't. It doesn't make sense at all. You're an entrepreneur. You're a problem solver. That doesn't mean to say you have to help them all. It doesn't mean you should help everyone, and you can't help everyone. That's just the way it is. Because again, if you are talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. Okay, don't make that mistake. If you put a blanket approach to everyone over what it is that you're doing, guess what? You're not specifying to the person who you can really help. And they need to believe that you are the person. That's really important. So my messaging to a 30-year-old is going to be way different than my messaging to a 60-year-old. So what I like to do when I want to specialize and be a tribe leader is I like to look at different stages of where they're at and what they're doing. So if I was to talk about what we're doing here, right, then there's 3 different stages that we have for people. This is what mindful marketing offers. 1 is starting a business, 1 is building a business, 2 is building a business, and 3 is growing a business. I'm talking so much I can't even count anymore. How's that? Now, I can start a niche, and I can niche down in every single one of those, okay? So if you're starting a business, something that I could do to help you would be, for example, a workshop in nailing your niche, right? That's kind of like what we're doing now. This is a mini workshop on your niche. Now, maybe that's something that I could charge for, how to nail your niche. This could be a great business idea. So I could help people who are starting their business nail their niche. Now, the first step, that's it. That's the first step that I do. Okay, so if I was building a business, say, for example, I'm helping you build your first 10,000 a month, or I help you build a consistent, repeatable business that earns 10,000 a month. Now, let's say that you're in that growing stage, right? So now I help you grow to a 7-figure business, right? Those are all 3 stages, 3 different parts of your business. So another thing that people do who are in, for example, relationship sphere, you could give relationship advice to someone who's dating versus someone who just got divorced, giving them advice, right? Different phase in life, different stage in life, even though you're doing similar things. You talk to them differently. You use different language and you speak to them differently. You want to be like, okay, so this person's divorced. I'm going to help you reconnect with your real soulmate. Or, you're young. Hey, let me help you get laid, right? Very, very different things. So we need to get very clear on who it is that we're helping. So the first question is really specifically, who do we help? Who is that person now? And I don't need you to say, okay, I help, female between 35 to 55. That's your avatar. I'm not talking about that. That's more the person that you're helping. I want your niche right now to describe who you're helping. So it's a definition. It's, it's not the demographic of, okay, it's male, 30 to 35, who eats pasta at night and wakes up at 6 o'clock with a smelly breath. That's your avatar, right? Your niche is more a description of the general person that you'd help your service or your products with, that really helps them. So it doesn't need to be as specific, but you need to be able to very confidently say, hey, this is the person that I can help get results. And it'd be even more powerful using this type of strategy. So I help this person overcome this challenge by doing this with them. Okay. Or I help this group of people to do this result to help them achieve this or overcome that. Okay. And we'll go over that in just a little second. Now, one other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your customer journey. And we hit upon this already a little bit. But this is really, really powerful for anyone who's, basically just starting to really understand that you don't need to be an expert to get the results that you want. And so when it comes down to it, there's a customer journey, okay? When we buy something, we enter into a journey of where it is that we want to go. Now, most people have two similar desires and two similar kind of results. One is, I want to get rich, or I want to be a millionaire, or whatever. This is how, they are defined. The second is, I want to be financially free. That means they've reached their desired result, right? Rather than just a phase. I want to be rich is a phase. So let's just say here is your financial freedom. That is your end result, right? That's the end of the journey. Now here's the start. So people who are not financially free are on the path to becoming financial free. This is the journey to become financial free. Let's walk along there. And there's a lot of different milestones. There's a lot of different little steps for them to do. Number one is they might have to learn how to manage their money, or they might need to start making money to begin with. Number two could be something like they need to learn how to invest. And number three could be they actually need to learn how to grow it again, reinvest it. So this is just a blanket example, right? But there's different steps, there's phases, there's milestones in order to help someone achieve their goal. So if you want to help someone get on the path to becoming financial free, and, would say that you personally are not financially free yet, that's okay, right? Because you're still in the same customer journey. It's still the desired end result. So this is perfectly okay to teach people. So what can you do? Okay, so let's say you know how to manage your money well, or you know how to automate your savings, and, but guess what? You can still help someone because you can help people get on the step. You can help people get to the steps. You can help them get onto the process. And say, you get them onto the first step of making more money or being wise with their savings or whatever, then you can take them further onto the customer journey. But as long as you are just one step ahead of them, right? You're always one step ahead. Because once you've achieved it, you know how to do it. The result of having gotten there is now something that you can share. You're not promising to become financially free. What you're saying is, and this is really important, this is a critical aspect for you, I'm going to help you become more financially free. To get on the fastest track to becoming free, you need to take these specific steps. This way you can say what it is that you're teaching people. Don't worry if you're not at that desired place yet. Okay, I'm not financially free. I'm comfortable, but I can teach you how to grow a business. Do you give a shit that I'm not a multi-billionaire? No, you don't. Because what I've done is that I've demonstrated that I know enough. I know how to show you. I know the roadmap to help get you there. And this is my credibility. But I haven't gotten to that multi-billion-dollar phase, and I don't want to, actually. But I can teach you how to get to $10,000 a month. I can teach you how to get to $100,000 a month, right? Because I've done those steps. I can teach you how to, I cannot even teach you how to do $1,000 on Amazon because I don't know. But if I did know how to do that, if I'd done that, I'd be able to teach you that. Don't ever teach something that you've not done yourself. You can't promise something that you've never accomplished, right? I don't want you to be inauthentic. You need to be authentic. You need to be real. This is powerful because people can sense realness. They love it when people are real with them. People love transparency even in this really fake plastic world. People love people who actually say how it is and not, I'm going to fake it. Because guess what? This is not the way to do it. I'm not going to be investing serious amounts of money with someone who hasn't actually figured out how to do it themselves. You have to, you can take someone on a journey with you while you're doing it together so you can learn from each other, because that's great, isn't it? That's really cool. That's epic even, to go on a journey with someone and figure it out together, as long as you're that one step ahead, okay? Teach and grow. This is an amazing part. Please stay authentic, please stay real, and tell them if it's the case that you haven't reached that plateau yet, or yet even that stage yet. Tell them, be real. Okay, another nice thing about being a tribe leader is it's nice, right, to have someone who you can connect with, who answers your social media posts and who has a conversation with you, who's intimate with you, that you can connect with and have a real connection with. So that's, great to be a tribe leader without having to be the ultimate expert. Don't worry about the end. Just, don't fake it until you make it. Hope this is useful. And I want you to look at what it is that you do right now. I want you to look at what it is that you do want right now. What if you don't know what it is that you want to do? Well, you've got to think about certain things that you really vibe with. So the easiest way that I think about this, again, is the problem, the result. So what problems have people faced, and what is it that you've overcome? And this is about you personally. So any one of the problems that they face, or you have faced, and how have you overcome it? Because again, if you've not done it, it's not, it's not real, and it's going to be really hard to teach from experience because there hasn't been any. So first step is, at least if you're in the transformational stage, that is your own experiences, okay? So we want to make sure that we're using our own experiences first, because we're the guinea pigs. When you've had an experience of something, it's like, hey, wow, I've had this problem and I've overcome it. Yay me. Now I want to test my process so I understand, does it work for other people? Okay? So we want to make it teachable. You don't just ask people for money if you've not ever done it yourself. That's ludicrous. So if you don't have, have gotten the biggest results, then go out and experience it. Take that first step. So think about what it is overall that, you've done. What are the results that you've gotten? What's an experience that you've had? What are things that you can help other people solve? Is there a way more powerful to think about what it is that you could offer? Now, you've done way more things in your life than you probably think that you have. And maybe other people haven't done that. So maybe, for example, you're really good at video games. You can help people who are not good become good, right? It's possible. Maybe you play awesome guitar. Now, most people suck at playing guitar, and you can teach them how to play, right? That could be one of the things that you offer. So think about some of the things that you've done in your life, your experiences, your traumatic experiences, your problems, anything that you've done, experimented with, or felt, or, know how to get people results for. Do remember, though, that they want to overcome a problem, and they want to be in the position that you are at, okay? So you need to start, and you need to test your process. Basically, that's where we want to get to, right? We want to have started it, tested it, and solved it. We want to look at our own experiences, and again, don't make it, don't fake it. So we do want to stay that one step ahead. Okay, so here's a couple of more examples for you to make this a little bit easier. So you could help people who are really busy but want to learn how to paint pictures, right? To help them relieve some stress. So in this case, you'd be specializing in art lessons for example, for busy mothers. Or you love taking pictures of your dogs, and now you can specialize in doing that. That's a great niche, right? Or you're an Excel mastermind. Now, if you're really good at Excel spreadsheets, then teach people how to use Excel for business. Great little niche. Let's say, for example, you do hypnotherapy and you want to help people get over their fears. Well, how about specializing in teaching salespeople how to get over the basic fears, or how entrepreneurs can conquer their selling fears by using this vehicle of hypnotherapy? Right? Let's say you're really good at organizing things. You're a professional organizer for really sloppy people, okay? Or you know how to trade stocks, or you're really good at meditating. These are all amazing things. There's unlimited amount of things you can do because it's all based around you. Splendid, right? So how do you actually select it? Well, we go into this for a second, and we're going to make sure that this is something that you've done before. I know I'm repeating myself. I sound like a broken record, but once you've had this experience, people who obviously haven't done it are wanting to learn from you. So you know how to do it, and you're sharing your expertise. So that's number one. You know what you're doing, right? You've got to at least have had some sort of process for yourself. You've explored it, okay? That's really important. So what have you done? What are your passions? What are your hobbies? What are your joys? What are your sadnesses? What do people ask you to do? What do people say, hey, you're really good at that. I wish I knew how to do that. It could be anything, okay? Then you need to figure out, is there a demand for what it is that I could do? So you Google, are there YouTube videos around it? Are there articles around it? Are there Facebook pages or Facebook groups around it? Is there Instagram pages? Is there Pinterest pages, right? So be logical here. If people are talking about the things that we want to do, that's a great thing. That's competition, my friend. And competition is a really healthy thing. It means people are already doing it, and it means that there's demand in the market for doing this. It just means that we have to be a little bit different, right? We don't have to be better. We need to be different. That's all it's about. Those are magic words there. You don't have to be better, just different. So we start to say, okay, so these are some of the things that I could get comfortable about. And I've looked for demand, and I see that there is demand. Now you've done your research, and you can say, cool, this is a niche. And now you niche down on that thing, okay? So you niche down for the person who would be interested in buying this from you. And the nice part is that I feel I want to be working with these people on a daily basis. That's amazing, because let me tell you, there's a lot of people who you don't want to work with, and it's a vital part in my screening process, whether or not I want to be able to work with these people, because it's really horrible to try and help someone who you despise. So let's say you're helping people who have recently gone through a traumatic experience, for example, okay? And this is something you've experienced, and you're really good at helping people. You're really good at talking to people who just feel like they're completely down in the dumps. But, you know, after you've talked to these people, you're down in the dumps too. You can't shake it off. And you're depressed for the rest of the day. Is this something you want to do for the next 10 years? Is that something you can do for the next, 10 years every day? You want to know whether this is something you can build your authority around, build your content around, create your videos around. Is it something you can keep up, right? Is this the tribe of people you want to, talk to every day? If it isn't, ask yourself the third question. Do I want to work with these people? Do they light me up? Okay, final part now, and I know this video is going a little bit long. I'm trying to keep it short, I promise. Okay, final part, position statement. I'd love for you guys to fill this in. So basically, it's just to get your mind going, okay? I promise it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a first draft, and once you get your juices flowing, you're going to, go over it again and again, and, then one day you'll be like, hey, that's what I do. Not my first version. But it might help you to know that over the last couple of months, I've changed my niche about 2 times. Okay, because I've changed my niche, because I've worked with some of the people in that niche, and I didn't particularly like them, and I figured that that's not the kind of person I want to work with. So I didn't feel good about that, so I changed my niche. And you know what? I know the industry, I know the people in the process, and I know what it is that I want. So I know where to find the people that I do want to work with. Okay, so by doing this, you're going to learn. But being scared to pick the wrong niche, don't be. Because picking the wrong niche is better than picking no niche. Because you're learning more about yourself. You're learning more about the people and the demand than just the picking the niche itself. Even if it's wrong, it's still better than not picking at all, right? Even if you just have a blanket statement, it's still better than a general BS message. So, massive decisive action is what you're making, and that's the vital part. So changing your message is nothing more, changing your niche even is nothing more than changing your messaging. It's not a big deal. You literally just change your message. Okay, and so now you're messaging different people, okay? So if I want to work with more people who are earning, say, 7 figures, I'd say, hey, do you have a best-selling book? Or do you have a platform of 10,000 people? Are you constantly on the road? Right? That message is different than, hey, do you want to launch an online business? Right? So you just change your message. So we're going to get this started now, and I'm going to help you craft this. So this is your positioning statement. So what it is something to help you clarify to other people who you can specifically help or what you do, right? It's along the lines of an elevator pitch, but it's a little bit different. So here's a couple of different ways that you can do this one. So one would be, I help people get resolved. So this is a result that I offer people. Or I help busy moms get their time back. Or I help entrepreneurs build an online 6-figure business. This is very specific, right? I help people monetize their niche by building online businesses. Specific enough, right? So the gaps can be interchangeable, of course. You just want to do the results, okay? So I want you to go through this process of writing a couple of down. So when you're thinking about the problems that they're going through, you think about the aspirations that they have. What is it that they want to achieve? How can you help people achieve some sort of result? Okay, so that's your homework. Don't worry if it's not perfect. You can't mess this up. This is just to get you to the next step, and it's just to help you progress forward. You know what they say in Silicon Valley? Fail hard, fail forward. Fail fast, even fail forward. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the faster you grow. Okay, so I don't expect you to master this unless you've done it before, but even then I don't expect you to master it. I just want you to write something down, okay? I want you to think about it rather than not think about it, because that way you can choose rather than not choose. Okay, so there's a process that goes into this, and this is why it's the #1 thing to grow your business to $10,000 a month, because most people don't do it. Most people don't get into the number thing. Most just don't even bother. And that's why they don't earn the money that they want. And that's why they struggle to get the right leads. And that's why they struggle to get traction, because they don't build the right tribe. Okay? So you're one step ahead of all of them already. So think about it. Who do we want to help? What's the result? What's the result we want to give? When you're not specific, you're actually throwing money away. You're not targeting the right people because you're not speaking to where they are. You're speaking to the wrong crowd of people. You're not speaking to the results that they want. You're not speaking to what they're going through. So we need to speak to where they want to go. Now, we may not feel confident yet that we can help this person get the results. So this being a little bit broad will make us feel better, because that way we don't have to give anyone specific results. But you need to really define yourself, and you have to get more specific, right? Don't be lazy about this. You have to get out of your comfort zone. It has to be uncomfortable. It's okay. It's important to be uncomfortable because that is where we grow. So this is what's happening now. If you feel like you're not getting it, it means you're growing. You're uncomfortable. You're not getting it. You're growing. Congratulations. Okay, today's action. Let's wrap this up, okay? I want you to pick one, even if it sucks. I don't care. I want you to pick one, and I want you to try it on. I want you to speak it out loud. I want you to articulate it. I want to see how it feels. Get some research done, figure out how to niche down a little bit more, and tell your partner, tell your friend, this is what I'm doing, okay? See how it feels. Try it on for size. The action for today is to go live, of course, in the Facebook group and talk about your niche. I help these people get this result through using this strategy. And I want you to feel good about doing this, okay? Who cares enough about you right now, what you do? You have to feel good about what it is that you're doing right now because you're growing. Okay, so think about this, feel good about it, and take the first steps into doing it. Okay, everyone, thank you. I so appreciate you being here. I appreciate your participation, your acknowledgement, your willingness to go for it. I really appreciate your willing to just, give it your all. I honor your commitment to learning and growing and getting to the next level. Getting to the next level means we need to get uncomfortable, right? Getting to the next level means we're going to get out of our freaking comfort zone and do things we've never done before. Remember, and I love this quote, every master was once a disaster. I'll see you tomorrow. Talk to you very soon. Take care then.